All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Live Well this Thursday night here at Fish, North Georgia. Appreciate you guys joining us, and I hope you guys have had a hell of a week, and we're getting ready to power on into the weekend. We got a great show for you guys tonight. Going to be a little bit different at the start, but it's going to be very, very important that you guys pay attention to our guests and some of the things we're going to talk about tonight. I think you'll take a lot out of it if you listen and pay attention, because it's one of these episodes that it's going to be really important to me that you guys pay attention. So again, if you're watching, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys are watching this at a later date, hey, don't go nowhere. Listen to what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, let's take care of a couple things. First of all, let me pull Father Time into the chat right here. Let's see, pull him in there. Come on. There we go. He was in his garage and he had to move. It was too hot for him out there. Look at that red face. I can tell he's hot. So anyway, y'all,
Dadgum.
yeah, y'all good now, Kevin?
I'm good.
You're good. All right. So we got Jedi Jim, or LJ is what I like to call him by, but Jim Harmon's in the house with us right there in the lower left hand corner with Lanier Bates and Lanier Jim Fishing. And then we got Tim McGuire and, of course, Father Time Kevin Thornton right there. Let me go through a couple things real quick, and we're going to get into the conversation. So let's get these announcements out of the way. Very important announcements. So, guys, pay attention to these two. We want you guys to participate in these. All right, come on, Mouse. There we go. First of all, Real Strong for Shane Striper Fishing Tournament. This is April 25th on Lake Lanier. This is for Shane Henson, Dawson County cop that was involved in a car accident. And listen, I've known this family my entire time living in Dawson County. Very, very good people. He's currently down at the Shepherd Center. They're going to throw this tournament to help the family, all right, to help the family with some of the needs and all that. It's a great family, guys. And I want you guys to go out there. If you're a striper guy, or even if you're not, I want you to try to take part in this. 404-536-8702 is Jason Watkins, or you can call Jamie Watkins at 770-480-1648. And after the tournament that day, they're going to go to the Henderson Barn off of Sinclair Shores Road, and they're going to have raffles and barbecue plates and all that. So, hey, if you can, make it a point to at least help out or go by and see them or fish it if you can. And then, of course, we got our buddies right here, Fishers of Hope. They're throwing Fishing for Pawpaw here, and it's going to be at War Hill May 2nd on Lake Lanier. All right, this is for a gentleman that's got some medical issues. Seems to be kind of a recurring theme right here for this show tonight. We want you guys to take part in this too, because again, anything Fishers of Hope does, it's worth taking part in. Of course, we also want to help build the community with this. You guys come see us. Some of us podcast guys will be fishing this to register. And if you pre-register, your parking is going to get paid by Fishers of Hope. Tony Watkins, 706-897-7557, or Big Ryan Sheffield at 706-429-2010. And then finally, Father's Day weekend, guys, okay? There we go, right there. The Georgia Outdoor Festival and Expo, putting on by Cherokee County Park and Rec and Black Sheep Promotions. It's going to be at Veterans Park off Highway 20. Live music, food, vendors, outdoor gear and experiences, guest speakers, seminars. Listen, we fathers always end up just getting a tie. Now we got a whole weekend for ourselves. It's going to have everything: hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, you name it, outdoor art, whatever. And if you want to be a vendor, if you got a company and you want to set up a booth and come sell your wares, or just whatever, promote your business and all that, hit me up on Facebook and I will get you 25% off of your vendor space right there. So it's going to be a good time. Lots and lots and lots of people have already signed up. It's going to be a hell of an event. We want you guys to take part in it. And so now as we come back here, there we go. Let me, everybody over there in the comment. Kevin was outside scouring his old Bassmaster mags from the 1970s for his question tonight. Well, I would say so, but it's a tough one. You guys got to pay attention. So anyway, without further ado, now that we've done that, let's get into the talk. And Jim, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm
You're
good. Finally coming around.
Mm-hmm. You're finally coming around. Now I'm gonna give everybody the 80,000-foot scenario, and then you are gonna fill in the blanks and kind of tell us this. And this is why I want you guys to pay attention tonight, because one morning, old Jim woke up to go to breakfast with him and his family, and his son Corey noticed he wasn't looking too good. All right, next thing you know, within an hour or two, Jim's in the hospital. And I can just go ahead and tell you, he's had his chest cracked open, and he has had this rehab and everything to get back to this point has been a hell of a journey. And so what we're going to do, not only are we going to talk fishing with the man, but I want to take the first part of this show so that all of us, men and women alike, maybe we're just a little more, I don't want to say, well, educated, of course, but maybe we're kind of pushed into taking care of ourselves a little bit better and at least getting checked up. So, Jim, with that, I know that's the 80,000 foot view. Now, give us what happened in your perspective.
Well, we went out to dinner that night. First of all, I had a guide trip on the 28th, August 28th. Worked on boats the 29th and 30th. Anyway, this was in August. And then we went out to dinner that night. Came home and I threw up a few times that evening and coughed a little bit through the night. Didn't have any pain. I wasn't like I was, going out and all, throwing, not so like pain in my chest or anything. Well, the next morning we got up and we're going to go to breakfast, and Corey walked in and said, asked me if you all right? And I said, yeah, why? Let's go. And he says, well, you don't look good, Dad. Let's go up to urgent care, basically, and get checked out. Went up to urgent care. Within 30 minutes, they had me in an ambulance going down to Northside Forsyth. And when I got into the emergency room, it looked like a NASCAR team going around me. And a few hours later, with the heart doctor, Dr. Patel, walked in and told me, he said, it's kind of funny because Delta Dan, who's on our Facebook page, Delta Dan, he was a nurse down there. He was in that room. When Dr. Patel walked in and told me, he said, if you hadn't came in this morning, you would have came in this evening flatlined. And it was my right lung was shut down with pneumonia. Had no idea. I was becoming sepsis. It was shutting down my kidneys. I thought I was gaining weight because I was getting older. I mean, I'm 65. I thought I was getting older. I thought I was gaining weight. It was the pneumonia was putting fluids all over my body. So they had to get the pneumonia under control. And as they got it out of me, that's when they went in to check my heart and found out I needed a triple bypass. It was had 90% blockage in my widowmaker, 80% in another one, and 70% in another one, valve. So they cracked me open. I mean, the whole chest was open, and the doctor was laughing with me afterwards, told me he was playing volleyball with my heart. And because they stop your heart, you're basically dead. They're keeping you pumping on machines. And after we got through with the surgery, they got the pneumonia out of me. Then they put me on dialysis to try to clean my blood. And because my kidneys were, they were just getting their ass worked, excuse my French here, my butt worked to death. And it took me 4 months going to dialysis 3 times a week, 4 hours a day. And guys, if y'all have never been on dialysis, let me tell you something. That was it takes everything out of you. It takes all the fluids out of you. You just feel terrible. You don't want to do anything. And by the time you start feeling good again, you're back on dialysis again.
Yeah.
And somehow, I guess the grace of God, my kidneys came back to life when they got my blood straight. My pneumonia was gone. My kidneys came back to life. And my heart, when I came out of surgery, it was at pumping out blood and everything at 30%. Sitting on the couch for 12 weeks, 15 weeks, and it got up to 48%. And then I started rehab. Cardio rehab was 12, 15 weeks, 3 times a week. And next thing I know is that my heart's now pumping out at 65%. And they say that's close to normal, and it'll get stronger. They said I've got a 16-year-old heart now and a 65-year-old body. But the key is that my kidneys came back. They took me off of dialysis. This was in December. No more pneumonia. And they said that I must have had pneumonia for a long time and didn't know it. And one of the keys is that I tell people this all the time, and you might have seen the updates, but in the fishing community, we get to a whole lot of people, not only with our business, but this was, through high school friends and all. And, I must have done something right because I've got a lot of support.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I finally got to a point that I was feeling better to do things, I could start talking about it a little more, but it was a lot of pain.
Yeah.
People didn't realize. I mean, there was times when I'd sneeze or I'd cough and I'd drop down to my knees.
Mm.
I mean, it was bad.
Mm.
But I told people, we started doing the update on Facebook. I started doing the update because we had, when I first went in there and Corey let everybody know that I was in the hospital, I was getting a couple of hundred text messages a day. And Corey was getting a whole bunch of them. And it just got to where, well, let's just do this. It might be a lot easier so everybody can see what's going on. That's when I started doing that update thing. And I told everybody then, go out and get yourself checked. If you might think you're fine and you might think it's just, you're in great health. I thought the same thing. And, I've had several people that contacted me since then that went out and got checked, and sure as heck, 2 or 3 of them have had to go in for heart problems, heart issues. A couple of them checked out good. I had one good friend of mine from high school, a guy named Mike Shimoli. He went and got checked out, and they were worried to death because it was 3 or 4 days before they got their results back. And he finally did. He's an Italian kid, and he basically told me, he says, well, I'm great. So my advice to you is to drink more red wine and eat more pasta. But that's the story. It's been a journey. It's been a long road. I've been on a boat sitting in with somebody one time since the 28th of August. I know you've got Sonar Pros, and they're a great company. They do a great job with their installations, and we do a good job. But I've had boats lined up that we had to get going back on, and it's just been a hell of a journey. I mean, if you don't get checked out, it was shocking to me and to the family.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. I'll be honest with you, and I'll be honest with all the viewers. LJ is one of the original guys that came on the podcast way back in the day, and we've known him forever. And we haven't always seen eye to eye, but we made up, kind of before that a little bit and all. But I will tell you this, and this is the honest to God's truth. I remember Corey making that post, and I remember just bawling, just crying, because I was like, you don't know, right? You don't know. I remember that day.
It was,
and I just was like, I can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? And luckily for us, you made it through, because it could have been one of those situations where you could have been stuck and not had a chance to say either what you needed to say, or, you know what I'm saying? Talk to that.
oh yeah,
You had that opportunity to you got a second chance. Like that. But I remember that day, and I reached out to Corey, and I kept up with you through Corey and all that, and of course checked on Corey and all that. But it was good to see you do the updates. And I know, like hell, you always were bitching about the food you couldn't eat. Your diet had to change and everything like that.
Yeah, I've dropped about 30 pounds.
Yeah, I just remember it.
If you've read the updates, y'all might have saw the part where I read about. I always put in there about the mother hens.
Mm-hmm.
There was 4 ladies that from high school and just in the fishing community, 4 or 5 ladies that you talk about support. First of all, I had unbelievable support.
Yep.
From the fishing community. Mm-hmm. But those 4 ladies, wow, unreal.
Yeah, you're blessed. Absolutely. Perez Elite Fishing on TikTok says LJ Rod Bender supporting there. So he's on there. Appreciate you jumping on. And then Joey Holcomb right here. Been there, done that. The heart attack at 49 just before my 50th, and another one just before my 51st. So, it's one of those things where, like, again, blindsided. everybody around you was blindsided now, but I can't imagine it personally happened. You know what I'm saying? Like from your perspective, just and Corey's, the family, the immediate family with all that, just all of a sudden, like, okay, you just don't look good. I mean, you're ugly anyway, so it probably didn't look too much different than any other regular morning. But then, hell, in a couple of minutes, you're in the hospital, dude. I mean, just like what was going through your mind?
I was asking them the whole time, what is wrong with y'all? I feel fine. Why are we going down here? And they had me in an ambulance. And man, I ain't lying. When I got down into the emergency room, Corey and them took some pictures. They were going around me like a NASCAR team.
Yeah.
And it come to find out that I was this close. I mean, I was this close from pushing up daisies. I mean, they doc came in a couple hours later after they went through everything, says, we've got to do this, 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 and this. And then you're going to have, they had to do 2 surgeries. One was exploratory to see how my heart was doing. And then the next one, they shipped me at 10 o'clock one night over to Gwinnett, where they did the open heart on me. And man, I'm telling you, they told me, like I said, I was just a few hours from being flatlined. Yeah. I was that close to being septic. I mean, my blood, they said, was just poison, and I had no idea. Not a clue.
Well, I mean, I know, like we've dealt with some medical stuff here on the podcast too, because old Kevin right there had to have some good grief. I don't know what all kind of back surgery you had to have, where they had to go through you like front cage and the back and all that, right, Kevin, and all that. So, we've kind of, and I don't know that you saw it coming or anything like that, but let me read this from Coleman, because I know he dealt with this just recently. Life is a vapor. Lost my father-in-law to a heart attack this year, 2 weeks before our wedding, which was in December. Tell your folks you love them and spend as much time with them as possible. 100%. Now, let me ask you this, LJ, lifestyle changes. I know you've had to make a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you've had to make a bunch. Maybe give somebody that's watching, because I'll be honest with you, I'm dieting now, trying to walk. I'm trying to do a little bit better. But some of the things that the doctors have told you that maybe you should have done beforehand, that you damn sure are doing it right now.
One was staying away from, I don't know when the last time, I mean, it's a treat now for me to get a pack of French fries, or a pack of chips or something. I stayed away from all the chips, all the peanut butter crackers, the sodas, like Diet Mountain Dews. I was a Diet Mountain Dew guy. You knew that.
Oh, Lord knows.
They should have been sponsoring me, and damned if they didn't try to kill me. But I drink a lot more water, walk a lot. During my, the doctor wanted me to get up and walking around, even though he told me to sit on the couch and not lift more than 5 or 10 pounds. I got up every morning and walked through the grocery stores. I'd go to the grocery store and I'd walk every aisle, all the way through them. And I'd do it twice. And I used to go down the girly aisle. You might have seen that on the report. So it got to where it was funny. Some lady I walked through there one time and the lady said, "Can I help you find something?" I said, "No, ma'am, just something for cramps." And I just kept on walking. And just kept on walking. And then it got to where it was a joke. And hell, some of these same ladies, I'd see them in there all the time and they just start laughing.
Well, at least, you kept your sense of humor. That's good. Joey Holcomb says as well, also had 3 good friends come to me asking what my symptoms were. All 3 had symptoms of a heart attack. All 3 died within weeks and in their early 50s. And that's and that's kind of one of the things, we always want to teach people here about fishing and stuff. And again, this is a very tight-knit, podcast community, Fish North Georgia community. But given some of the things like this, when you see somebody that that's gone through this, this is just as important as how do we catch a bass, up on a red clay bank or something like this. I mean, far more important, than that. So, because and Kevin will say this, I end every Thursday show, and Tim as well. I end every Thursday show saying, guys, if you're going out on the water, be safe, wear your life jacket, because we want to see you again. Well, the hell, this is the same stuff. We don't want to hear of any of you guys. Not like, I don't want to go, hey, where is so-and-so been? And then find out, well, they passed away and all that. So really, I want you guys to pay attention to this because again, number one, you didn't know anything, you didn't see it coming. Now, let me ask you this: what were some of the things that you were doing beforehand that the doctor said might have contributed to this, so that somebody now might can be sitting there going, I know you said diet Dr. Peppers because I'm a diet mountain.
Diet Mountain Dews, eating fast food a lot.
Mhm.
A lot of the stuff I just wasn't eating. Like one of the mother hens, the doctor told me to start eating more fruits and vegetables and low sodium. Try to watch what your intake is on your sodium. Stay away from sweets. I mean, it's all right to have a bite of this, that, and the other, but best advice the doctor gave me when I said, "Well, what about my diet?" And this, if you think about it, it was probably the greatest advice a doctor has given me. He said, "You can eat anything. You just have to do it in moderation."
Mhm.
Just if you're going to eat a steak, instead of eating a 16-ounce ribeye, just eat a 6-ounce ribeye.
Mhm.
Just till you get full. When you get full, I've learned how to push away from the table now. And I've got, man, the mother hens, these ladies, I mean, I'm telling you, one of them still is all over my tail. Now, this is one I've known for 50 something years, and she lives in Florida, but she gets on my butt all the damn time about things I eat. Hell, I had one of them, they said I could eat fruit. She showed up with half a damn Kroger, the produce section with
Right.
fruit at the hospital. I mean, it's just use your head a little bit. If like Big Macs, I laughed on my. That's what, if you ever saw the updates, and I said, "Hell, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to have a Big Mac."
Yeah.
Shh, don't do that. That was just a joke, guys. I was just teasing.
Right.
I was trying to smile because I was hurting so damn bad. But
Yeah.
it's paid off. I mean, I do the same thing now. I mean, I'm 30 pounds lighter. I feel great. I can now, hell, I go out there and wheel up a boat and do this, that, and the other, and I don't get short of breath. I mean, I was in bad shape and didn't even know it. Had no clue.
Yeah, and another thing, you kind of mentioned it before the show started about as bad as you were hurting after they cracked you open and all that, as bad as you were hurting, you put the smile on, right? You put the smile on, even though, and you made your post, or you might have gone throughout your day knowing you just feel like crap and you're hurting, but you put the smile on. And I think a lot of guys, and I think we've kind of talked about this, we kind of talked about this a little more with mental health, but it does with physical health too, that sometimes we just try to be badasses and tough our way through things before something like that happens. And we're the last ones to admit we need to go to the doctor or we need to go get checked out. Or you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
think, but you probably have learned now, hey, if something ain't right, it's time to go.
yeah. And I'll tell you one thing: people that I'm around. I mean, they pay close attention to me now.
Yeah.
If I'm laying over a boat, Corey warns me. He says, "Hey, Dad, you ain't supposed to be doing that right now."
Yeah.
They said it's going to be a good year before I can do it because right now they say my sternum's being held together with chicken wire, basically.
I can't even
And
imagine.
boy, I could tell it too because sometimes when, like I told you, like sneezing right now because of the pollen. The hell with pollen. Oh my God, this is killing me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's killing me. You talking about makes me cough and makes me sneeze, and it just hurts.
Yeah.
It's just a constant ache. And then
Yeah.
sleeping, dude. When you can't sleep, when you try to lay on your side and you can't, you try to lay on your back and you can't. You have to sit up in your, put two pillows behind you and sit up in your bed to sleep. I mean, it's just a shit to take care of you. Well, sorry, just take
No.
care of yourself. Take care of yourself, man. You won't have to go through all that.
Dude, listen, you almost died. You let it rip. You say whatever the hell you want to say. I don't.
Oh yeah, Corey just reminded me. I quit dipping too. I used to dip.
Yeah, and I
I
got
quit.
that.
I quit dipping. I quit dipping. Actually, before the heart attack, and that's what I give them a heck about it and say, damn, that's what caused it.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I know.
Got you out of sync.
They got to know what. I mean, I didn't even know who I was.
Yeah, that's the tough one. I was telling, I'm having to learn a bunch of different things with another company that I'm working for, and I ain't had a dip in 3 weeks. And I told him it like it drove me crazy. I actually went out and bought a cam before the show. I probably should have my ass whipped for doing it, but I was like, that's a hard one to give up. Tim, being a cop, you have to stay in shape, all those kind of things, and you hear somebody like this in the, and this is for me in the police world. How do they kind of push you guys to take care of yourself? Do they kind of make you get regular checkups and things like that?
Yeah, you're supposed to, and you're supposed to stay physically fit just so you don't get yourself hurt by, if you have to get violent or physical with somebody.
Yeah,
I go to a cardiologist once a year, and I go to my doctor every 6 months and get blood drawn.
that's what you do. What do you do, Kevin?
I go to a heart doctor every 6 months because I've got a stent. So
Yeah, but
I had 100% blockage when they had to put that in.
but you didn't have
Wow.
to have anything. You didn't have to get cracked open or nothing. You were just straight up. They
No.
caught it.
No, I just didn't feel right, so I went to the doctor. We were at Bass Pro Shops, and my wife was shopping in the mall, and I called her and said, "I don't feel right. We need to go." She came down, thank you, baby, and took me to the hospital, and sure enough,
Ain't that something?
Mhm.
Oh, Tim White. I understand this. If Diet Mountain Dew kills, I should have been dead 10 years ago. It and fishing are my two addictions. I get it. No, I get it 100%. Do
Well,
you,
Danny, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised when you go through something like this, how when you ride by Dunkin' Donut, you just kind of nod at it and just keep riding by.
yeah, no,
It gives you a new perspective on things.
I understand. Listen, let me ask you this. How much are you walking? You said you're walking every day?
I walk a lot. I don't walk near as much because my rehab is over now.
Yeah.
And I'm about to join a health club up the road from me. That's a 24-hour health club that has the same machines that I was using at rehab.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Let me tell you something. These ladies at rehab, the nurses and the techs and everything.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. They'll put a foot in your butt.
Yeah, no.
They'll put a foot in your butt. I mean, they want you to get better. And if you're slacking, they know it. 'Cause they got you all monitored up. I mean, I felt like the $6 million man. I had monitors all over me.
But listen, when you start going to that gym, don't get caught on one of them girls over there when they're posing and doing their stuff for TikTok and all that. And you're the dirty old man in the back,
No, yeah, that'd be me.
I don't want to see that.
We'll see some
I'll be the
TikTok
guy
scroll by.
in the
Hey,
back
what's
with my
LJ in the back
camera.
over there?
It's like,
I'll be the guy in the back with my camera.
that's what I'm saying. Like, look at LJ's ass back there. We know what he's looking at. Well, listen, I'm gonna be honest. Listen, I'm damn glad that you're on the good side of things. 100%.
Yeah, me too.
I know you are. I know you are. and your family and all that. I know you are. But still, I wish the guys that are listening to this, I know he's able to joke around about it now, and LJ's always, I mean, he's got one of them senses of humor. So like, I know that sometimes he, in his posts and all that, you try to be funny and all that, but I know it sucked. But I hope some of the guys listening today will actually kind of just look at what went on. And, Kevin just said he had 100%. He got lucky they caught it beforehand. LJ didn't even know anything was wrong. And that next thing you know, his kidneys are failing, his lungs, whatever. And they're cracking his ass open, playing volleyball with his heart and all that stuff. And
that's exactly what they were doing.
Just go get yourself checked for sure. And that, and if you guys got any questions, honestly, I know we're listening to the story now and we'll get into the fishing talk. Trust me, we're going to get into the fishing talk. But if you
Hang
guys,
on, this daggum clock.
I didn't even hear it. Your clock making noise?
One of them grandfather clocks. He's raising sin behind me.
That's all right. That's all right. Let him do that. But if you guys actually are out there and you're listening, and in your mind, you're like, I really wished I could ask LJ about X with this. Don't hesitate. Put it in the comment section. It don't have to be fishing related. Ask him about that, because I'd rather you guys take the opportunity, or if nothing else, reach out to his ass on Facebook or something. If you don't, if you don't want to do it in the comment section, because seriously, my dad died.
I've had a lot of people call me and talk to me, Danny.
Yeah.
I mean, ask me about it, and then go out and get checked, and we'll talk fishing. But some of them just drop by just to say hello, just to sit around and because man, let me tell you something. When you wake up in the morning, I'll tell you something I did. I got so bored in here sitting on the couch for 12 weeks. I took a picture of my butt print on the couch, the leather couch, and tried to sell it on eBay.
Did you really? Did you get any offers? I just
got
no. I mean,
no,
listen,
but I tried.
That would have been the deal of the year if you actually could get somebody in this world. I mean, all you really should have done was got you an OnlyFans and put your feet on there every day. You could have made some money.
But I mean, guys, it was now that it's over. Well, it's not over with yet, because like I said, for the next 3 months they want somebody on the boat with me, and the reason is that a lot of times when I stand up real fast, I get lightheaded.
Yeah,
so I'm not out of the woods yet.
Well, I would say it's for the rest of your life kind of change, is it not?
Well, I guess it is. I mean,
Yeah.
I've learned a lot, because I always had a bad boy image, but damn.
Drop dead sexy.
Dead sexy, but I was always the one. I was getting in trouble for nothing.
Yeah, I get it. No, but I'm gonna tell you, dude. Listen, let me read Tom's comment real quick. I was jammed up. That doctor told me to relax until Monday. I relaxed, and they came with everything on the tray. So yeah, I mean, you kind of know what it's about. I'm glad that we were able to get you back on, number one, so that we could have this conversation. I'm glad, of course, that your health is on the up and up and everything, because like I said, you do have stuff to offer to the fishing community here and all that. And people still need to pay attention and learn, and go take trips with you and everything like that. So I'm glad that slowly that's all going to be coming back and everything.
It's like starting over when you're off the water and you're out of doing what you were doing for 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like starting over. I mean, we're slowly getting rolling again and trying to catch up boats, and then trying to catch up with trying to get some trips going. But like I said, the doctor said he wants somebody in the boat with me no matter what for the next 3 months.
Yeah,
I guess in case I stand up and get lightheaded and go off the side of it.
Yep, for sure. What you guys say, Kevin?
Well, it's Tim talked about they should be getting a physical once a year, and he said should be. Whether you have that type of job or not, you should get a physical every year, because that can expose a lot of opportunities that are down the road.
Yeah, I agree with you. Buck Clark's got a question on TikTok. He says, 55-year-old. When you say go get checked, is that from a cardiologist? What are the cardiologists? What are they telling you guys? Listen, at 50, we're supposed to get the old colonoscopy, right? I think we've all done that.
Been there, done that.
We've been there, done that, and but
I enjoyed mine.
That's the best sleep you'll get. I mean, it's great.
This ain't no Brokeback Mountain, but I'm gonna tell you what, it was like I felt a lot better.
You went back 5 years later for another, huh?
Like I rescheduled 2 weeks later. Like, dude, I really like that cleaning out. No, I'm serious.
Feel great.
We're so wrong in the head for saying that.
Like you're walking on air.
Yeah. Listen, it's like I honestly, this sounds so bad, but I actually enjoyed that medicine cleaning me out. I had the old phone just sitting there, and I was like, yeah, it just went through me like goose, shit through a goose. And it didn't take me long. And I
think a lot of people, they don't take heed to the warning, like, hey, be careful what you eat for a few days before you start drinking that gallon of juice. And they don't. And I can only imagine the horrible experience they have the night before when they're guzzling that juice, thinking, man, I shouldn't eat Mexican last night. I shouldn't have ate that steak and gravy. I mean, it's bad.
Well, I felt bad for that little old nurse. That little old nurse was sitting there, and they got me on the table, and I got this doctor. He's getting ready to put me to sleep, but I look over there, and she's putting like 2 of the blue jackets on. and she's taping up with gloves, and I mean she's like duct taping them all that. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell you're getting ready to do or what's going to happen, but you look like you're here for business. And I'm
Yeah.
just go ahead and apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But apparently I was good, so I guess I was cleaned out. But
It was a running joke at rehab, because when the nurses and the practitioners or whatever they are, techs come around, they check your blood, they check your blood pressure, they do all this stuff while you're doing. You got monitors on you, checking things, and every time they came over towards me, they'd snap that glove.
I know.
You'd see me flinch.
Just keeping you on your toes. Like, hey,
Yeah. I was like,
hey,
man,
now.
y'all need to quit doing that.
Well, my wife said as I was coming out of anesthesia, I was saying a lot of inappropriate things. I was just saying. So I guess I'm a good time on anesthesia too, like that. But I know I get it. But when should we really start getting our ticker checked? Like
I'm late 40s now.
Yeah, like I was about to say, there were some people in rehab that were they were in their 40s in there that had heart issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 56. I had some pains back when I was 48 and found out I have a small blockage, but it wasn't quite to the stent category. So that's why once a year I have to go to the cardiologist and I have to go see the doc for basically a physical every 6 months.
Yeah, that's right. Patricia, make your toilet flatline. But guys, listen, this might be the comment of the night. Because Mr. Harley 55, this reminds me of something maybe Kevin might do. I done my colonoscopy prep on the back of a boat fishing a tournament with my bucket crapper by my side.
My hat is off to you, sir.
How the hell did you
He
fish?
needs an award for that. That's like man of the year.
That dude's going in the Fishing Hall of Fame.
His ass, he was trolling the whole damn tournament's what he was doing.
I was about chumming.
I need to teach him how to do it off the back of the boat.
Yeah.
The Kevin, now listen, hey LJ, I know it's been a while since you've been on, but that man right there, he strips down buck naked to use the bathroom off the back of his boat. He's worried about splashback. I mean, he gets buck naked every time off the back of his boat, and I ain't figured out why yet. But
Who does, Kevin?
Kevin does.
Do.
That damn
Dude.
that ass is just flailing
He
all
said
over
that
the
in the
place.
middle of a show. I mean, it really didn't come out as like a topic, and all of a sudden he said that, and there was like an eerie silence. No comments. Everybody just got quiet for a minute. Like, you do what?
Yeah, like what the hell are we supposed to do with that, Kevin?
Yeah.
Hey, Danny, I ran into a guy the other day. He stopped by the house, and he told my wife, he said, I remember when you had to take the crap off the back of the boat and you stripped down to nothing. So it is true. I do that.
Oh, no, I believe you 100%. I just
He's
ain't
probably
figure out
got his
why the hell
shirt
you
laid
do it.
out, his shorts and socks just ready to go back on, and then go way back here.
No, it's in a pile.
Listen, oh,
I
good
just
Lord.
step out of it.
I told my partner to run the trolling motor and don't look back.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Kevin, if I was on the boat with you and I saw that, I'd had a heart attack laughing. I'd laughed so hard.
Yeah, like we really didn't
I
know
would
what
have had a
happened
heart
to him.
attack. I was like,
Oh, let's
He'd had a
or
good
either
laugh.
I'd thrown a crankbait at you.
I don't know who. I ain't figured out how he does it yet. Joey Holcomb says, just make sure the doctor does not have both hands on your shoulders during the procedure. 100%.
Right. Yeah.
No Brokeback Mountain here.
Yeah, I was about to say that's great advice.
Yeah. It's like I told you, have the two fingers. That way you get that second opinion out just right out the chute. You can do it twice.
Yeah. Second opinion always cuts it.
Yeah.
We bring LJ on and this show just goes to shit.
Literally.
Memphis
I'm
Rock
telling
Fishing.
you, Danny, it's my image.
It
that
is.
bad boy image.
is.
This happens.
He goes, if I see someone buck naked on the water, I would say, what in the hell? Yes, you would, son. You would.
Yeah.
100%. So would everybody else. And anyway, all right. Well, first of all, dude, again, I'm glad you're on Up and Up. And I'm glad you have your sense of humor. And Tim Wyatt said, I haven't drank lemon lime Gatorade since I turned 50. Thanks to my colonoscopy. That's what my medication was mixed with. 100%.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, that stuff, that stuff clears you out. It does. It's amazing. PTSD. There you go. All right.
Yes,
So anyway,
it's not the right G juice.
no. All right.
This conversation went down to crapper fast.
It did.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally did. So, all right, we're going to rein it in. But again, guys, if you do have any serious questions about that, throw it out there. But we're going to transition into some fishing. Okay, how about that? We'll probably end up going down the rabbit hole that way too, but we're going to try. Now, I told you before the show, I had questions about drop shot fishing. And for me personally, because ever since I remember when you first came on, the first time you came on, and the first several times you were on, we always were talking 2D sonar. And I still remember you talking about how you could read pixels. You know, if you saw a pixel out of place here, it was probably a fish. I still remember all that. But forward facing sonar has just changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you even mentioned yourself about casting now too. My first question was, is it still possible to do the old school pull up over a brush pile on Lake Lanier and drop down on a brush pile? Is it
Absolutely?
It is. Okay. Well,
Absolutely. I still do that. I haven't, I mean, I hadn't been in the boat in 6 months, but I can tell you that in midsummer when the fish are 25 to foot or deeper, and in the winter, I will go straight vertical on them. I mean, I'll get right on top of them with my 2D. I don't always have to. Now, with forward facing, now I can sit off of them. You know, it's changed the game because now I can sit off 90 feet and throw a topwater bait and then ease in and pitch to them 30, 40 feet away from them. And I don't mean make a long cast where a drop shot, you just pitch it. You know, you just kind of pitch it and it goes out 30, 40 feet. And hell, you said hit and go down and you see the fish react to it. I mean, there's some things with sonar, with forward facing that a lot of people don't understand about, you know, I don't know how much juice you want me to lay out there. How much juice?
Lay it out there.
Okay, because when you're forward facing, when you're using your forward facing, if you got 70, 80 feet out in front of you, and it's a 19, 20 degree beam, you're covering about 20 foot of water out there, right? As far as the width of it, right? Well, when you're looking on your sonar, though, you see the tree sitting right here, and you see two fish sitting right next to it. It's only printing in one dimension, when in truth, that tree could be on the far left side at the edge of that cone, and the fish could be on the far right side, 20 feet away from you.
Okay. I hadn't heard nobody say that.
Well, that's the truth of the matter. So when a lot of times, if you have you ever been casting and you think you're hitting right on top of the fish in the brush, and the fish don't even react to it? Yeah. They don't do nothing, and then you throw again. Some other time you throw and you'll see them come straight up to it or move towards it or something. The same thing. You can be on a long cast with forward facing. You can be 20, 25 feet off of those fish and not know it, even though it looks like they're right next to you. You know, on the screen they look like they're right next to it, the brush pile. But that brush pile, you're pointing at it. You know, that beam's going like this, even though you're pointing straight at it, the beam's coming out like this. It's not, you know, if you had it in a landscape mode like this, you might be able to tell the difference. But when it's sitting like 99.9% of us use this way, it could be right in front of you. That's why when I give seminars, like I gave a seminar and talked to some high school teams not long ago. And one of the things they talked about was that. And I said, when you see them on forward facing, don't just make one cast right here. Fan that cast a little bit, depending on how far out you're going. You know, give yourself the opportunity. You know, it's not like on 2D where you can get right over the top of it and see the brush pile sitting down there, because that beam is going out like this when it's going out away from you. So
what you're, and I'm gonna make sure I got this right. So what you're saying is, even though your beam's 20 foot out, your monitor, your screen, basically is kind of centering it up for you. You don't really get like a true.
Yeah, it's just showing it one. It's just showing one way. You know, you're just seeing it You're just seeing the tree sitting out there and the fish sitting out there. That
Yeah.
You're
fish
seeing
might
a
look like it.
sideways view is what it's looking like. That's what you're
Yeah,
talking
I
about.
mean,
Yeah.
You're looking from the side, so they could be like that.
yeah, they could be all over. So it shows a tree right here, hypothetically, and then behind it, you see 3 fish sitting behind it. Well,
Right.
it might be that tree is 20 feet to the left, and those 3 fish are a little wolf pack sitting over here to the right.
Gotcha.
In the way that beam, it depends on, like, I think the Garmin beam is 19 and the Humminbird is a 20-degree beam. I think Lowrance's new one is a 20-degree beam. But that's how you got to look at it that way. You can, and that's why just because you see it out there and you cast right to it, go ahead and make 2 or 3 casts, left and right of it too, and you're allowed to get shocked. I know Jimbo and I were out one day. I jumped in Jimbo's boat and we were just out having fun one afternoon, and he was doing that, and we were fan cast. We'd cast out and we'd fan cast a little bit, and you could see them come up. You've cast it over here and nothing happened. You cast it over here and all of a sudden you see that fish move, but they looked like they were both right in front of you on the screen.
Now, Tim, you and Kevin have heard guys come on the show, and they always talk about making that precise cast. That with forward facing, you got to make a precise cast, and if they don't respond to it, then they go to the next one. Could it be that a lot of guys are misinterpreting a fish not, coming up to that first cast because of what he just said?
Makes perfect sense.
You see what I'm saying now? Like,
Yeah,
a lot
because
of,
I understand what he's trying to say is when we're looking at the screen, it shows your boat here. And
Yeah.
whatever you're casting at here with all your little depth markers and stuff, but you don't have the depth of it. Like you said, the farther out is that brush pile back here and the fish are way out here, or vice versa.
right.
Yeah, because that beam's widening out as it gets
Right.
further out. It gets
if you
wider.
If you took that beam and turned it up where you could look down the top, the brush pile may be on this side and the fish be on this side.
Exactly.
But you can't tell that from the way it sits normally.
How many
No,
times
it prints
How many times have you thrown at something and you see your bait fall and you're like, oh shit, I'm going to get hung in the brush pile, and you don't hit nothing.
That is true.
Yeah, and you're like, I should be like coming over a limb and I'm not. But if you move one direction or the other, oh yeah, there's some limbs, or next thing you know, you're hung in it, one or the other.
Yeah, right. Generally, I'm the one that's hung. First of all, before we get going on that, Tracy Coker, want me to tell you, LJ, what's up, you old fart?
Tracy's come by the house while I was sick, came by the house to see me a few times.
He's good people.
Yeah, that's good people right there.
He is. He's good people. All right. So okay. All right. So now, like, I wasn't even going to go down that rabbit hole. I was thinking, like, I just wanted to see if we could still go vertical, because conventional wisdom is now everybody's talking that all of these fish on Lake Lanier are so pinged to death and everything that you can't get on top of them anymore. You can't do that. Now you're saying though, it needs to be like in the summer when they get deeper, 25 foot deeper, wintertime when they're deeper. It's still possible. You're not going to spook them.
That's when I use. Now that don't mean you do it in different water. It just means that's what I started doing. I started doing it actually the winter of 2024. Okay. I started doing it the winter of 2024, and then when we got into the spring of 2025 or maybe 2023, one of those, and I started doing it because I'll tell you something else. A lot of times when you're pointing at fish with your forward facing, you got them pinpointed out there. You make the cast. If you'll turn the beam away from them, a lot of times you'll get a hit. A lot of times they won't hit if it's pointed right at them. They swim right at you.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that where you're sitting there and you're seeing the fish out in front of you? You cast, you put the beam on them. And the next thing you know, they're all swimming at you.
Yes.
Guys
have talked about that. What's up, Jeremiah Giles? How are you, buddy? Hey, okay. Now listen. So this is, again, now that you're casting at them, and again, it just kind of shows that I did pay attention to some of the shit you said back in the day. One of the first, I did, LJ. I promise I did. I'm no good at it, but I listened. I remember you telling me that when you drop shot vertical, you have a shorter tag in than when you were casting. But back then we were talking about kind of casting to the bank
Right.
because of the angle of the bank. You kind of extended your tag to kind of keep that worm up, so it wouldn't be out in front dragging through.
That's right. If you still had a short tag in, you might as well just put on a shaky head.
Right. Okay. Absolutely. Now that you're casting at a brush pile, do you still keep the shorter tag in since you're still almost like vertical, or do you make
Yeah,
longer?
I'm not. Yeah, I don't switch it up. I normally start with a 12, 15 inch tag in,
Yeah.
and then even when I'm pitching it like that. Now there are times when I don't know if I think I've told you this before. When if they chase and just turn around, turn away from it, the first thing I do is shorten it. I shorten the tag in. I'll just pull it through. I mean, I'll have 6 inches of line hanging off the little weight and pitch it out there. That's another thing. A lot of people they use too light a weight. I mean, and I'm just telling you, that's my thing is drop shot fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I suck at taxes. I suck at with insurance. But when you put a sonar in my hand and a drop shot, I'm pretty good.
Yep.
And there's things of trial and error I've seen, but I think I told you this story before with Brent Kessler, a customer. We were out and they were chasing our baits and then turning away. We were fishing vertical on them. And I said, hell, I'm going to try something different. So I shortened my tag in to about 4 or 5 inches long, little old short tag in. Instead of 15 inches, we dropped down through them. It dropped down through the fish because they were suspended just a little bit. Well, the fish chased it and finally hit it. And I said, oh, and I did it again. I said, hey, shorten your tag in. Well, he never shortened his tag in. And about 4 hours later, this is no lie, true story, it was 30-1. They were smacking mine, and he wasn't getting a bite. Finally, I said, Brent, just shorten your tag in. Why won't you do it? He said, because you won't tell me why. I said, I don't know why.
Because it's working.
I have no idea why, And then I got to thinking about it. And I thought to myself, I said, well, you know how they trap bait up on the surface?
Mm-hmm.
They ain't got nowhere to go. Maybe they do the same thing on the bottom. So if I'm chasing, if somebody's chasing me with a knife, I'm not going to stop 15 feet from a door. I'm going to go over through the door, go behind something, do something. Maybe it doesn't look natural for when it stops, 2 feet or 1.5 feet or whatever it is above the bottom when they're chasing. I don't know. I just know that every time they're doing that, especially vertical fishing, and they you see them chasing it and then all of a sudden they just turn away. They either saw the braid. I use a braid to fluoro.
Mm-hmm.
They either saw the braid because science tells us the fish's eyesight is 8 times better in water than humans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if that's the case, they can see that braid.
Yep.
But or for whatever reason, I just, now I just feather it down, let it stay right in front of them. But if they keep turning away from it and I shorten that tag in, for some reason they'll hit it. But when I'm pitching it, I do the same thing as if I'm pitching it out 30, 40 feet again. And I normally don't pitch out 40 feet. I mean, I'll pitch it out 30 feet.
Right.
Yeah. I just don't get right on top of their heads anymore. And a lot of that too, Danny, is that the customer likes seeing that live,
Mm-hmm.
Seeing it going on live like that. A lot of times when you're going vertical, you just see the spaghetti down there and a fish, and a lot of people can't pick out the fish or from a tree and this, that, and the other. Whereas, with live, I mean, you can see them swimming at you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Now there's a couple, I'm going to get to you guys questions here real quick. Tom says, I use heavyweight drop shot on windy days, lighter weights to fish shallow. But Buck Clark on TikTok says, what size weight do you normally use on your drop shot?
99% of the time I use a 1/4 ounce down to 20 feet and below 20 feet down to about maybe 35 feet. I use a 3/8. And if it's wintertime, and the wintertime is about the only time I use it. If it's wintertime and I'm down in the 45 to 50 foot range, I'll use a half. And the reason is that the half down that deep feels the same as that quarter does, in 20 foot. And I've just got a little better feel with it, because if you use too light a weight, and you give it a little shake every now and then, all you're doing is repositioning the weight on the bottom. You just got to barely move that thing, and try to keep the weight on the bottom. I tell customers all the time, just try to barely move that worm between the weight and the rod tip.
Mm-hmm.
And if they try to shake it too much and just hop in their weight, they're just drawing attention to the weight. But to make it easier, you can use a 3/8, or that's probably 90% of the time, because I don't drop shot that much in 20 foot or less. When I go to that quarter, normally it's like we talked about before, I'm casting towards the bank, or I'm making a longer cast with the drop shot.
Yeah. And if you guys don't understand what I was kind of talking about, you have to kind of visualize this is what he was talking about, you having a longer tag in back in the day. You have to visualize the bank, and your weight's right here, but you're pulling the line back towards the boat like this. So he goes with a longer tag in so that the worm stays up here, whereas if it was still a shorter one, it'd be down, possibly dragging the bottom as you're going down
near the bottom.
Near the bottom. Yeah.
And you might as well just use a shaky head.
Yeah, at that point. Does anybody know anything about what's going on Sinclair right now? King of Bass 69 wants to know. I would imagine if it's like anything else, they're probably a lot of post spawners out there, and they're probably still dead shallow. But if anybody in the comment knows anything about Sinclair and can help King of Bass out, throw it out there. Memphis Brock said, have you ever dragged a drop shot on the bottom? So yeah, I mean, he drags them, like that's what's kind of what he's talking about.
Yes. Memphis, are you talking about strolling?
He probably is.
If you're talking about strolling, where you cast it out, let it hit the bottom, and just use your trolling motor and just ease along. Yes. And I know Larry Nixon was using that technique on Lanier during the FLW Cup. And he caught some good fish over there on that roadbed along Hollow.
Oh, I know that roadbed.
I don't know how I know that exactly, but
you do know. Yeah, I wonder. All right, real quick, guys, get ready. We're getting ready to do the question of the night. All right, so we gotta let Kevin prep up, get his wet his whistle and all that, and then so in the comment section, they're gonna be paying attention, and then LJ and I are going to be continuing the conversation, because I've got a question that we've been asking on the last 3 or 4 live wells. We've asked this question. And I actually said Tuesday night when I asked the gentleman that was on about it, I said, LJ will be on Thursday night, and I'm going to ask this question. So, all right, let's go ahead and do that. If you win tonight, first of all, Tracy Coker, Patricia Leanne, all that, I packaged up your stuff today. It'll be in the mail tomorrow. If you win tonight, I got a chrome sashimi, 125 from Spro. You can have one of these if you get the question of the night. So, Kevin, are you ready? Tim,
one answer.
Tim, are you ready to watch? All right.
I got it too. One answer.
All right.
Real easy question, but listen to it.
And LJ, you can't win.
How long was I? You ready?
Yep.
How long was I with public supermarkets? I'll read it again. How long was I with public supermarkets?
And I'm gonna tell you, like, everybody out there just went like, what? They used to like 42 questions. Very simple. Well, it's not simple. You gotta do some thinking. So you guys start throwing it out there. I'm gonna jump. Let me ask you Land Outdoors question real quick, and then I will ask you mine. LJ, what's your favorite hook for nose hooking a drop shot? I feel like some zone lock ones I have are good for smaller fish, but larger ones shake the hook at the net sometimes. Do you still Texas rig yours? Long shank?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you ever nose hook them at all?
The only time I nose hook them is if I'm using a minnow style bait, and it's in open water, like suspended fish. Okay. I'll put on I'll make my tag in 3 or 4 feet, and then I'll suspend it. Because that way the weight, especially like fishing standing timber, for instance.
Right.
If the fish are positioned right on top of the standing timber, and wintertime is a good time, and even in the dead of summer, I can drop it down, and I'll let the weight go to where, and I'm fishing vertical. I'll let the weight look like it's getting inside the timber, and then the bait still sitting above it. I'll nose hook it because I just let them get the hook in their mouth a little better because I'm not worried about getting hung up on stuff. I'm mainly just open water fishing.
So, well, when you do nose hook, are you still using that long shank hook, or do you actually have a hook that you
No,
use?
I use a number 2 Gamakatsu little drop shot hook.
Yep.
I don't use a number 1. A lot of people use a 1. I use a light wire hook, and way I hook it, I do not put the worm all the way through it, though, to where you know what I'm talking about, where if this is the hook where the worm is sitting in there like that.
Right.
I rig it to where the nose of the hook is coming right to the point of the worm. And the reason is because a lot of times that worm will swing around. If it swings around and they hit it from this side, they won't get the hook in their mouth. But if you put it right here, you know, to where you just run it in there and have the little hook coming out the nose of the worm, now no matter which way the hook goes, or the worm goes, the hook follows it just like that. Gotcha. And you can get them right in the roof of their mouth. But I normally use a straight shank, our long shank hook. Mm-hmm. So, and the reason is because I'll put that drop shot right down in the middle of brush. I mean, I'll put it in some of the heaviest stuff you find.
And watch this. Let me make sure so I can still show you that I remember. Yeah, just when you're doing it vertical, you're down in that brush and you get a bite, you reel up 2 or 3 times first because you're wanting to turn that fish's head up out of the timber.
And that's right. You lift and reel.
Lift and reel.
When you lift, if you just rear back and snap it like you're on a Texas rig fish, he's going to start raising sin down in the middle of the brush. Mm-hmm. Well, if you lift and crank 4 or 5 real fast turns, it'll bury the hook, but it'll just steer his head just like that most of the time up to the top of the brush, and then you get him on top of the brush, then you're on your own.
See, I remember. I paid attention.
But that was, you know where that hook set came from? Have y'all ever heard of Charlie Brewer slider fishing?
Yes.
Slider fishing, and remember, it just like this, you just extend your arm and just reel up to him. That's where it came from. That light line, because you're putting less pressure on the line. But you're also, when he feels that, he's not feeling it real hard. He just feels he's being pulled, and it just steers his head up.
There you go.
We got a winner, Danny.
Good job, Danny. I can't believe you remembered that.
Yeah, there's a lot I remember. All right, who won?
Memphis Brock won with 62 years. Now listen to the question again. How long was I with public supermarkets? Not worked, with. My dad was a store manager when I was born. So I've been with Publix for 62 years before I retired.
Oh, so it didn't even count the retired, because when you asked that question before, we thought you.
I didn't ask you how long I've been retired or anything, or how long I worked for them, but I was with them for 62 years.
Okay. He's getting all tricky on us.
He had to put a twist in it because he always has.
He's getting all tricky on us.
I worked for him at 46.
He does.
The naked fisherman's getting all tricky.
Hey, Memphis on Facebook, send me your address, buddy, and I'll send this to you. I'll just know the guys were throwing out daggum 100, 200,000 answers. They're just throwing numbers out there.
They're still throwing them.
They are.
Yeah.
All right, so Memphis won tonight. Good for you, dude. He's a high school fisherman, so good. You can use this.
I think I met Memphis at one of the shows.
You might have. You absolutely might have. Before I get to my question, in the middle of all those answers, there was another question from Jonathan Fuqua, I think I said that right, 7226. Will a black magic marker on your braid make it invisible to fish?
No.
I don't think so.
And
I ain't got the damn time to color mine anyway.
I mean, if he's just asking for my opinion,
yeah.
No, but that doesn't mean my opinion's right.
That's true.
If black hid braid, then they would make a black braid.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they've got chartreuse, green, red, moss, camo, white. See, I've gone to white on all of mine, but I use a long fluorocarbon leader on it. I went to white because I can see it better.
Yeah.
You know, I was using that moss green a lot, and I'll still use moss green on a vertical, but I just went to white because I can just see it.
Look right there. Look at that comment. Yeah, LJ, I helped you at Jimbo's Expo one year.
That's what I thought. I knew that was him. Hey, Memphis, how you doing, buddy?
Jeremiah, I'll get to your question right here in a second because I want to ask mine. You know, I can do that every once in a while. Here was my question. Why is it that when we throw drop shots, 99% of the anglers out there put on a purple, your blue lily, your brighter colors, but when we throw a shaky head, we throw natural colors? You understand what I'm saying? Like you see a guy drop shot 99% of the time. He don't. I know you guys make a green pumpkin, or you did at one point, or your bold bluegill and all that. But the majority of your sales are your brighter morning dawns and all that. But you don't see a lot of people putting those on shaky head and vice versa. Why is it just something in our head?
I think it's mental. I do know we are some of our colors. You know, it has to do with light refraction.
Right.
You know that. You know, with some of our colors, blues, greens, and purples. Now, I will tell you, the last few, I don't know, maybe the last 3 weeks, Corey came out with that new color, Lanier Sand and Shindig. Those are green with some flake in them, but let me tell you something. Those two colors have been they're keeping it quiet on Lanier. They have been absolutely smacking them on a shaky head up in 2 inches of water. I mean, real shallow.
On a shaky head.
On a shaky head, throwing it up real shallow on those. And I don't know if there's spawners up there or what it is, but there's been some big fish. I don't know. Do you know Rick Jackson?
I know who he is.
Well, Rick, he sends me pictures all the time. He's absolutely crushing them on Lanier, on Shindig and that Lanier Sand.
Okay, I remember that.
And that Lanier, I will tell you, the new color Lanier Sand. Corey played with it a little while, and it's not the sand that you normally think of. It's got a little green in there with it, and it's a good color. It's a good one, but nothing on a drop shot. I don't care what you say. If you've got Blue Lily, Sweet Rosie, and Epic Flash in the boat, you've got it covered.
Yeah. And they work. You do, and they work. We've always been talking about guys, and nobody ever talks about, well, I threw, your Max Scent green pumpkin red on a drop shot. That's on your shaky head. But when we talk drop shot, what do you throw? I like a morning dawn color. You know what I'm saying? They always talk about the bright color.
I think it's just like learned or mimic behavior. They see people do it, so you got to do it this way.
I was just wondering if you thought they might have been might be a reason why, but you think it's just personal preference.
Yeah, and you got to remember that your browns and certain greens and stuff like that. I throw a shaky head shallower than I do a drop shot.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm fishing up that shallow, that might be. I think it works good on a Ned head too. A little old, like a what is that, green pumpkin turd worm, whatever they call them.
Yeah, I know. TRD.
Yeah, TRD. But it might just be the depth of water. I just know our stuff we put a lot of it has to do with light refraction.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of our baits, we think 15, 20 feet or deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Up shallower. I mean, tell the truth. How many fish have seen a green pumpkin or a black worm?
A lot.
Green pumpkin, Jesus.
Yeah, that is true. And if you guys really want to, the very first podcast, and you got to scroll way on back on the page. Back to the very first page, because I think LJ was like the 5th or 6th podcast I ever did. And in fact, funny story about that was that night Josh was late, and LJ and I sat there and talked, basically did the damn podcast in conversation. Josh finally showed up. We turned around and had to do this, basically did it all over again. You remember that?
Yeah.
He was like, we didn't know where the hell Josh was. The first time I ever met LJ, we just sat there and talked. I also remembered that you still owe Corey some pistachios from that. See, I got a good memory, some pistachios and all that stuff.
That boy likes his pistachios.
Yeah, I've gotten to where I eat dang things too. They're addicting. All right, question for Jim. Have you noticed a decline in drop shot bites? They used to eat it on the spot, but I think it's not getting as many now. And again, that to me always comes up when we talk about forward facing sonar using a drop shot. At least that's on the show. I hear that a lot. Have you
I think fish in general are getting. I think fish in general are getting, getting more pressure. And they might be seeing the baits more. People are learning how to use their sonars better. I know, golly, I go out on at least three sonar trips a week. During most of the up until the last 6 months.
Right.
So there's a lot more people out there dropping on brush piles. So are they? I don't know. I couldn't tell you because I always have a drop shot on my boat.
Yeah.
I mean, we still use forward facing and we use our hover shads or our jerk shads or something for the forward facing, but then we'll turn around and pitch right onto that same brush pile and catch fish out of it. I'll tell you a story. This happened this was last June.
Okay.
We pulled up on a brush pile. It was first thing in the morning. It was about a 22-foot brush pile, and it was loaded with fish. We dropped down vertically. We dropped down right on top. Wasn't using forward facing. We dropped down. Caught all three of us. We tripled up. One of the guys dropped the fish back in, and it shut the whole school down. So the spots will do that. So I said, we didn't ruin this spot just now by accident. Let's come back to it in a little while. We left and came back a couple hours later, and I stayed off of it this time. And we were pitching out 25, 30 feet to it. We put 19 in the boat off of that same brush pile. And when we're getting them, we were releasing them, but we were releasing them 30 feet away from that brush pile.
Yeah.
And it didn't affect the fish as much. I always said, if you get on a big school of fish, throw them in the live well, because if you don't, you're going to shut down a school of spots. I mean, that's just the way it is, especially if you're fishing vertically or if you got a big school of them, they'll just go to sleep on you.
Yeah, no, I've heard that a lot. Now, Kevin and Tim, I'll start off with you, Tim, because you spend a lot of time in brackish, dirty water.
Yeah.
Do you ever drop shot at all over there in brushy or anything like that?
Yeah, you can. Just use a darker worm.
Okay, that was good. That was going to be my next question because we were talking about colors, and I was sitting there thinking, Lanier, especially right now, it's like crystal clear. But
where is that? Where is he talking about?
Brushy branch
backwaters off the Coosa over here on the other side of the state. Yeah.
That brown water.
It's always brown. Yeah, you're never going to see like green water or clean water.
So that's kind of what I was wanting to know. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, because I'm listening to him talk about light refraction and all that. But you're in dirty water.
Yeah, you just need to use a darker worm.
All right, and Kevin, did you ever throw any? I know you might up here, or do you throw the drop shot at all?
Yes.
Okay. What about when you were down in Florida?
No.
So you didn't use it all down on that brackish water down
I don't
there?
even think drop shot was a thing back when I was in Florida, man.
No,
it's been a hot minute.
They do it. They pitch a drop shot for bedding bass now down there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, now they do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense.
I haven't been there since '93.
Yes, right. Guys, I graduated high school in '90. Okay. How about this? Because you talked about light refraction, and you and I have had this conversation before. But Patricia Leanne Shaw says, "What color is anything at 20 foot deep?" Now we have talked about fish having different cones on here and how colors change and all that. But about 20 foot deep, is blue lily still blue?
It keeps some of his characteristics. If you remember, we had that Markham camera we used.
Yes,
once you start getting deeper, it gets darker. But when you're in a bright, clear day, the red is the first one that disappears. That disappears down about 20 feet or so. But blues, chartreusey greens, and purples are the three colors that still keep a little bit of their characteristics. I mean, That's like Sweet Rosie. In the wintertime, Sweet Rosie will crush a fish down around 50 feet. They on a drop shot. They just kill it. Me and Lisa Farmer, she was killing them one day in the boat doing that with us, and it's pink with with blue flakes in it, and so whether or not they can see it, whether or not it flickers a little different, keeps some of its characteristics. I don't know exactly, because once we got down there with the camera that time, it was pitch black.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. I get it. But I remember you also saying too, like some of the glitter in some of the worms, like you back then you had like LJ's Passion, LJ's Obsession, like that. They were more
Yep.
translucent worms with a lot of glitter. You said basically the worm kind of just disappears, but
Disappears. Yep.
But you got
And
the
all they're doing is catching a flicker here and there.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's one thing about Damiki fishing. When we're Damiki fishing, which is kind of like drop shot fishing, you'll be sitting and you're hanging this a little 2-inch bait, 5 feet off the bottom or 8 feet off the bottom, and a fish down in 50 foot, sees it and comes up and eats it. Hell, I was Damiki fishing one time in standing timber in a ditch, and I saw the bottom, a big movement come off the bottom, and that was 45, 50 foot deep, and I was sitting in about 20, 25 foot. I was way up in the water column, and I saw this thing come off the bottom, come all the way up and hit it. It ended up being about a 15-pound striper. He came all the way off the bottom, came up and hit a little bait that's only about 2 inches long.
It's insane.
And so, I mean,
well, they'll do it with the fluke.
As far as the coloring, blues, greens, and purples, if you'll look at our baits, 90% of them have one of those colors in them. And the reason is because those are the, based on science, says that and with light refraction, that those are the 3 colors that fish can still see. I mean, why is a chartreuse worm so good on Lanier in deep water? I mean, it really is. That's how they used to fall. You remember the old Zoom, little old skinny Zoom worm used to be a chartreusey with black flake in it. You remember?
It's been a hot minute, but yeah, I think I do.
They used to fish it standing timber, just pulling a Texas rig through the trees out there. Mickey Bruce won a tournament doing that.
I ain't heard nobody talk about that worm in forever. Anthony Hampton wants to know, yeah, where's the link?
Am I giving away my age?
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Link to the worms mentioned. Now, I know you sell them on Tackle Warehouse. You can get them at lanierbaits.com, correct?
Right. lanierbaits.com. Hammond's has them. The Outdoor Depot has them. Tackle Warehouse and Hammond's buy a slop of them.
Yep, there you go.
And then Corey sells a lot online, lanierbaits.com.
Yeah. Buck Clark on TikTok wants to know, what color fruity worm would you recommend anywhere? So you can only get to pick one. You can only pick one for anywhere. What color would you recommend?
I'm gonna go with Bill Dance. I'll fish any color worm as long as it's blue. It's got to be blue lily. Because when we were in St. Clair up in Michigan and Canada, we were pitching drop shots with blue lily on it and catching smallmouth. We were cutting it down to about 3 or 4 inches and just slaughtering them up there. And then we get reports from people out in California with blue lily, Clear Lake, some Texas lakes. But I'd have to go with blue lily.
Okay. All right. There
you go. We just sell so many of them, and from all over all over the world now. I mean, people are buying that thing.
Listen, Tim White, you're my age. He says, Jim, only Kevin and I are the only ones here old enough to remember Mickey Bruce.
I do.
Yeah, you do. Well, let me ask you. Okay, Kevin.
I remember my granddad talking about it.
There you go. So like, I still remember when I first interviewed LJ. It wasn't called drop shot, and it was called doodling. Correct? Wasn't it doodling?
No, it's called downshotting.
Downshotting. There was something like that. But
yeah, doodling is. They still use. I still use that technique. Doodling. It's where you have a little 3/16 ounce. I use brass and glass. Go online and look for Don Iovino. It's a California guy.
California.
Little brass bead, a brass weight that's machined, so it's real smooth. Glass bead and a little 1/0 hook with a little 4-inch worm, and you cast it out. Whether it's in brush or in around docks and all. And once it hits the bottom, you just sit there and shake it, and it just click, 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 click. And the reason you use brass and glass is because brass and glass gives off more vibration and sound than the plastic and the and lead.
Okay. All right.
That's doodling. That's doodling. Now, downshotting that's when I learned what drop shotting was when we went to Lake Orville out in
California. I knew I knew kind of the story. I just had the terminology wrong.
Yeah, we went out there. We didn't have a clue what we were doing. They told us they took a glorified crappie hook. You remember the little gold Aberdeen hooks for crappie? Well, this was just a bronze one. And then they put little 6-pound strand line, and it was you remember the fluorescent line? You could see the strand blue, whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
With a little 4-inch worm, and they would tie an overhand knot at the bottom of, I don't know, maybe a foot or two of left off on the tag end, and they tie an overhand knot and they put split shot on it. And we were pitching that thing up against the canyon walls on Lake Orville, and you'd barely move your rod tip and it'd fall, 3 feet. By the time you moved it 2 or 3 times, all of a sudden you feel a little boom, and it was a spotted bass hitting it. And that's when, I was downshotting, God, that was the mid to late 80s, I guess. And we brought it back here, and I was fishing Charlie Brewer's slider head and downshotting on Lanier. God, years and years ago. Years and years ago. I'm 65. I admit I'm a goat. I'm an old goat, but damn, that was some of the things. But that was that's that rig that evolved to drop shot fishing.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you: do you like to do anything else other than that and a shaky head, or is that just pretty much if you're going to throw a worm, that's what you're throwing?
No, we have our hard baits. I throw our hard swimmer a lot.
Yeah,
we had to. We had Gen 1s. Gen 1s had 24 pounds of break strength, and we had, I don't know, 15 or 20 out of 3,000, 3,500 of them that the back section would break off. So the second Gen 2s, we increased it to 35 pounds because we were getting reports that the snook and tarpon down in Florida were crushing them. So we jumped up the break strength on those and put a little different hook. We put a forged steel hook in them with black nickel finish, so no corrosion. And we sell a lot of them. Like right now with the herring spawn, you got a jerk shad, our hard swimmer, and then I don't know have you ever seen our Matty minnow?
No, so here we go.
It's a little riser style minnow. It's a little riser style minnow, and when you can fish it like a jerk bait, or you can cast it out, and as soon as it hits the water, I kind of keep my rod tip up and just kind of skip it and wiggle my rod tip and reel, and it just skimmers across the surface, and they come up and crush those things.
So yeah, I was going to ask you about the hard swimmer before I get into that real quick. Tim and Kevin, as far as like drop shotting, is there anything a question you guys got or anything before I transition over to this?
What kind of knot you use on the hook? Palomar, and then just put the tag back through it, or?
Yeah, I use a Palomar and I run the tag back through it. Now, one of the keys, I'll tell you, because I put up a video on this and the thing got like 100,000 views in like a week or two. And what it was is when people tie the knot and pull the line back through, right? Put the tag in back through the nose of the hook. The eye of the hook.
Right.
Well, if you'll pull it, then hold the hook and pull it to where that knot comes from the top of the hook. It'll come down through the hole and to the bottom. It'll cause that bait to stand out, that hook to stand out.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever. I don't know if y'all knew
I've done
that or
it.
not.
I've done that accidentally
Yeah.
a couple of times and kind of
Yeah.
noticed that it put something to keep it up. So
Well, it keeps it out front, and that's one of the things I do every time. I mean, if you ever brought it back and your hook looked like it's laying sideways or something
yeah.
on a drop shot, well, if you'll do that and you'll pull that knot down through the eye of the hook, pull it to where the knot's on the bottom instead of the top, that hook will stand out perfectly straight.
Yeah. And I do remember one more thing, like with his long shank, and he talks about doing it Texas rig. He doesn't do it. He does not take the end of the hook straight through the end of the worm like we would. You come in like at a 45, right?
Yeah,
If
I come in at 45 and I skin hook it.
Yeah, you skin hook it like that. I remember a little bit. Doug Rice says that little riser style bait is money. Yeah, for sure. What about you, Kevin, real quick before I jump on to the next thing?
No, I'm good.
You're good? Okay. And guys, listen, if you got questions, you better throw them out there, which Jeremiah did real quick. So let me do this one. You ever experiment with the different variations of the drop shot, like the wacky shot or any of the smallmouth techniques they do with the drop shot up north? That's kind of when you started talking about the hard swim and all that, and I was going to get to it, but that's kind of what I was talking about. Do you ever, drop shot with a wacky worm or anything different, or you just kind of use the techniques you just always
No,
use?
I've got basically 3 rigs that I fish. One is a regular. Well, I'm not including nose hooking.
Right.
So I use it. I rig it Texas style, and I skin hook it on the side. That way, I can drop right in the middle of brush and not have to worry about getting hung up.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is the wacky. I'll rig it wacky style and drop it. The other one is a gilly rig. Has anybody ever fished a gilly rig?
I don't even know what the hell that is.
All right, a gilly rig is you got your worm and the egg sac.
Yep.
Well, instead of a wacky rig, you put it in the middle of the worm, right?
Yeah.
Well, on a gilly rig, you come back about an inch or two, right about the front of our egg sac, and if you hook it there, and it's an open hook style, and I fish that around boat docks a lot. And what it does is it causes the whole worm to do like this. It kind of, I don't know if you can see it. It just kind of, the whole worm vibrates instead of doing like this, like a wacky does. Like it just kind of, the whole worm just kind of shakes and shimmies like that.
Gotcha.
Whereas on a Texas rig that I use, it's just the tail. But that gilly rig, and let me tell you who told me about that gilly rig.
Who's that?
Rest in peace. Aaron Martin's taught me about that.
Really?
Yep. Aaron Martin did.
My gosh, if anybody knew, he would know, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but with that, when he fished that gilly rig.
So with your 3 rigs, and Adam W. Fish, and I'm getting ready to get to your question, but with your 3 rigs, Texas rig, working the tail. Wacky worm basically works
like both sides.
And then the gilly rig or whatever, that keeps it level, kind of like a Texas, but the whole thing vibrates.
The whole thing shimmies like that. Yep.
Okay, there you go. You guys learned something.
And that's really good around boat docks, marina docks, and boat docks. That gilly rig is really good.
Yep. Okay, there you go. All right. So now let's jump up to your hard swimmer. Adam W. Fishing. When is the best time to throw your swimmer, and do you ever vary your retrieve, or do you just burn it?
I fish it. I either fish it with just a steady retrieve. I burn it and stop and go, or I fish it like I'll cast it out and let it sink for, I don't know, a 3 or 4 count, because it's a slow sinker. That puts it about, I don't know, to get it maybe 2 feet down, and then I'll work it back like a jerkbait.
Like a jerkbait?
Yep.
You talking about like rod twitching and everything, like a jerkbait?
Snap, 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 and that thing just darts just like this.
Okay, that's the first. We ain't had nobody talk about that. Maybe there's a reason why guys haven't said that. Maybe it works that good.
Well, that's the 3 ways we fish it.
Okay. All right.
As a matter of fact, that we were fishing it that way up in St. Clair when we were first testing it.
Yep.
And we were fishing that thing, and that was the day that we caught 275 or more smallmouth on it with the three of us, me, Joe Bauer, who was our guide, and Jimmy Meadows.
Yep.
And we between the smallmouth and the white bass, we were fishing it real erratic like that.
Like a jerk bait.
Yep, cast it out, let it sink a second or two, and then start just, and
Okay.
it just pops and dances and jerks around.
I mean, Tim, can you remember anybody talking about a hard swimmer or Seville style bait doing it that way? I don't. Yeah, Kevin, I don't think we've ever had anybody talk about it that way.
No.
Now, I guarantee you what, there's going to be some guys that are going to be fishing on Lanier this weekend.
Yeah, there's people taking notes as we speak.
Somebody's going to be jerking that daggone swimmer. I guarantee you they'll be doing that. It's always.
I'll tell you when it's really good is when they're on boat docks. A lot of people use a glide bait on the boat dock, but just one reel like that,
Yeah.
or you can do the same thing with our swimmer. Cast it up there, let it sink for a second or two to get just below the black floats, and then just work it back quick, like a jerk bait. Just pop, pop, stop, pop, pop.
There you go. You guys are getting some juice tonight. The only problem with that is my ass would throw it. If I threw that thing up there at a boat dock, I'm going to be the one that gets it in that damn rope that's hanging off the boat.
Are you going to be
every single time?
Every time.
Between that and them invisible freaking wires going up to the trees. Have you noticed, LJ, though it seems like over the past few years them wires have gotten wider and wider off people's boat docks? Like I saw some up on Notley that seemed like they come off at a 45-degree angle and went to the next land.
Yeah, they did.
Man, there's some crazy folks up here. I like the ones that have all the signs sitting right out there on the main lake. No waves within 100 feet.
Yeah, right.
No wait within 100 feet. I mean,
yeah, and you're on the main lake. That's not gonna happen. Jeremiah says the ghillie rig, that was the Aaron Martin's technique for sure. Yep. And Patricia Leanne Shaw, I was going to mention this earlier and I forgot. Yeah, Fisher and I is leading the Bassmaster Elite Series right now. He's in first. I just really quick, you guys that picked my fantasy team on the lunch break, you're doing pretty good. All right, we're sitting in 74 percentile range, and 52 is the lowest angler we got, and that is Olivacy. So you guys are doing a much better job on this tournament. Hopefully we can improve on that. Let me ask you this question, because we never talk about this stuff anytime you're on, but when it comes to fishing now, we got all these young kids fishing and they're good. I mean, this younger generation is good. Now, when you first started fishing, you and Father Time back in the Depression, back in I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? We did have to learn things differently. We didn't have all this stuff, but what do you think about kids these days? I know you still see what Emil and all these young kids are doing on Lanier, on social media. What do you think about these young studs or whatever you want to call them these days?
Well, a lot of people like Randy Blockett. Mm-hmm. He's arguing about with forward facing. A lot of people don't like forward facing. Those same people were complaining when they came out with side imaging. Mm-hmm. And then down imaging. It's a tool, and kids have the advantage right now because of video games. I mean, that's why drop shotting was so much fun for me. Because with kids love to go drop shotting with me because it's like playing a video game. Mm-hmm. And they say you only catch 20% of the fish that you see on forward facing. God bless him. I mean,
yeah.
Good job, man. I mean, he could be out dealing drugs. Instead he's in front of a bass boat.
No, I agree with you.
Very true.
I mean, that's God bless them. I mean, I know some of the old farts are bothered because what happens if they take forward facing away? They don't do as well. Well, that might be, but if you learn to use a forward facing, I mean, you don't have to be great at it. Just learn to use it a little bit. You can still catch. You can get on the same ballpark and get field as they're in.
Right. Yep. I agree with you on that.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, Emil worked hard, and Paul Marks Jr., they worked. I mean, all these young fishermen coming up, they're they're worried about forward facing, but you know what? Back when the other guys were coming up, the older guys, they didn't have the high school teams that were getting mentored by people. They didn't have the college teams that were getting mentored by people and had great coaches with them. I mean, they didn't have I wish they had a fishing team back when I was in high school.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
They don't have that kind of stuff. They've got that kind of stuff now. I mean, it's just like phones. I mean, I laugh because my Corey is so good with his phone, you know, and hell, I need a flip phone.
Oh, I know. I
Give me
remember
back my flip phone.
I remember, Tim, when we did that tournament for Beasley. That guys couldn't do. They were, you know, you're supposed to take a picture. You remember it was a digital and all that, and there were guys showing up with a damn flip phone and they couldn't do it. I'm like,
yeah, they're like, I can't get the app. I can't get the app to take the pictures.
That's because your phone is ancient, dude.
Right.
Buck Clark on TikTok wants to know, Jim, what scenario on sonar makes you say, okay, a drop shot is what I've got to do now? What do you see to say, all right, this is drop shotable?
Okay. I was waiting for this question.
Yep.
Because I teach this during sonar classes. When, like in the summertime, for instance, or the wintertime, if I'm going over a brush pile and, you know, I might have I've got 6,000 waypoints on Lanier. We might leave and I'll just cruise a brush pile and we'll cruise over it. I might not stop at the first 5. And if I see the fish are positioned on top of the brush, when I go over it, then I'll turn around and we'll throw a top water or a spy bait or something like that. One of our swimmers with a little spy head on it, you know, something like that. If I go over that brush and I see those fish are positioned middle down, in other words, they're not on top of that brush. They're not up here. They're up there for a reason. They're looking to eat for something. Right. If I see them just sitting, you know, right in the tops of it, you know, or middle down, I'll go straight to the drop shot because those fish aren't going to come up chasing baits. They're not going to be chasing them. So I'm going to put something right in their nose. I mean, I tell everybody drop shot fishing is you just got through eating Thanksgiving dinner. You're sitting down and you're watching the ball game. You're full, and then your wife comes and puts a nice piece of hot pecan pie on your belly in a plate. You're full, but you're going to take a bite.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
And that's to me, that's what drop shot fishing is. When the fish are middle down in that brush pile or they're just not up, active, or moving around, you got to force feed them. You know, you got to put something. I'll put it right in the middle of their dinner plate and just let it sit there. And 90% of the times they'll do it. I do know this. We had the best day I've had drop shot fishing on Lanier. This was probably 5 years ago. We started at 6 Mile Creek. We hit 2 or 3 brush piles in 22 to 25 foot of water and caught doubles off of each one of them. So we started running nothing but brush piles from 6 Mile all the way to Gainesville Marina. We must have hit 35 of them. The guy with me must have put up a post and Jimbo saw it. And Jimbo called me and said, dude, you're at 63 fish? And I said, no, we're at 84. And that was, we were catching 1 or 2 out of every brush pile. And I had to have hit 40 brush piles. Mm-hmm. And we were just catching 1 or 2 out of every brush pile. And, you know, drop shot fishing, like I said, if they're middle down, I'm going straight to the drop shot. You know, the one thing that will do is it'll generate bites. Mm-hmm. You know, and a lot of times I'll tell you something else. A lot of people, even though we've got a 5-inch, you know, our worm's a 5-inch worm, you cut it down to, you know, a 3-inch worm, and people say, God, ain't nobody going to hit that. Dude, some of the biggest fish in the lake are eating little 2-inch minnows. Mm-hmm. I mean, they will crush it. They'll eat it in a minute. But the drop shot generates bites. I mean, you got to catch a big fish or to catch any fish, you have to get a bite first.
That's exactly right. War Eagle the Best wants to know, excuse me, how big was the biggest mega school of bass you've ever seen on Lanier on sonar of any size? What's the biggest school you've ever seen?
2 years ago, Eddie Cole. Eddie, if you're watching, say something on there. He was the customer. I pulled into there's in the wintertime, it was in December. There's two different kind of ditches, what I call. I've got a steep ditch, and then I got what's called a bowl ditch, where it comes down and then bowls out, flattens out.
Yep.
Right out in front of Little Hall boat ramp, there's a bowl ditch. And I eased in there. Eddie and I eased in there at about 10 o'clock. And I looked on my sonar, and I mean, that red line on the bottom on your sonar, it just got thick for about 100 feet. And I said, oh my God. I said, this is a huge school of fish. We turned back around, and Eddie, the way Eddie put it in his post was between 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock, all we did was switch places. We were Damiki fishing, spooning, and drop shot, 45 foot of water, and all we did was switch places. We caught somewhere around 50 fish, and between 2.5 and 4.5 pounds. And it was every cast, everyone. We were just going back and forth, and we left them biting. We the biggest school I'd ever seen, and I stayed on those same fish for another, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. And then they moved. I couldn't find them.
Tim, how come we can't find that school?
Yeah, I don't know where that school's ever at, but I haven't seen it. So.
No, we haven't.
Well, there was if you'll go back through our post, his name's Eddie Cole. I hope he comes on here. I hope he's watching. But Eddie, he'll tell you, he said it was the most unbelievable thing not only he had ever seen, but I'd seen. There were so many fish in there. And I mean, it didn't matter what you dropped down. And we were using my 2D and my forward facing on the same screen. I have a 12-inch Humminbird. We're using both of them. And when you see them right below, in fact, I put a video up about it because you could just see them on your live, and then you'd see the whole bottom come up on the 2D.
Yeah.
And they were just crushing the spooner, Damiki, and all. And they were going up and down this bowl ditch. They were pushing the bait up one way, and then they turn around, and we started following them because I'd had the forward facing. And when I didn't see them on my 2D right below me, I'd look up there and you could see them moving forward. So we'd just start casting and ease up to them. And it's probably a 40-yard stretch just back and forth. And we sat there for 3 hours. It was every cast. Like Eddie said, all we did, we were just switching places. One would be taking one off, one would be reeling one in.
I don't understand why we can't find those, Tim.
Maybe one day.
There's a lot of there's some big school. Danny, you've yet to get on the boat with me. You need to get on the boat. I mean, I don't do a lot of things. Like I said, I suck at taxes. I suck at insurance. But when it comes to sonar and finding deep schools, in these mega schools, I'm pretty good at it.
Well, I tell you what, I don't have to watch a store anymore. So you tell me when you're ready to go, and I'll be there. We'll go. We will do that. Hey, let me ask you still with Humminbird?
Yeah, I still sell a lot of them. Still do all their bunch of installs and stuff.
Well, let me ask you this: the difference for somebody between the original Mega Live and the new one that just come out.
It's night and day.
That's what I was going to say. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about the difference in the new Humminbird Live?
Well, I can tell you this: we had Shields. Y'all heard of Shields? The big Academy Sports across the north and out west.
Yeah.
Shields was in town, and they were staying at Lake Lanier Islands, and we went over there and basically we're showing them the new Mega Live 2 and the new Explorer units. Mm-hmm. One thing about it, Mega Live 2 is Garmin. I always had Garmin ahead of Mega Live as far as being able to track baits and distance, right?
Right.
Clarity I gave to Mega Live. Well, don't ask me what they did. All I know is they had a bunch of people on Skype calls, and they, what do you want it to do? Well, we want to be able to see the fish better. We want to be able to track our baits better and further out and this, that, and the other. Well, they did all that. And now I can look in a brush pile and fish show up brighter than the brush. So now I can look in the brush pile and tell you, hey, there's 8 fish sitting in that brush pile. And you can see them brighter. I mean, we put up a lot of live video on it and tracking. So I had Mega Live jumping over Garmin now. But you know as well as I do, the LVS 34, they're going to come out with the LVS 38 soon or what have you, and it's going to jump back over the Humminbird.
Right.
But the Mega Live 2, they clarity, you can track your baits like unbelievable. Distance, and we were watching it fall, hit the water and fall at 90, 100 feet out. And then the biggest thing was seeing the fish, the like on, it's called Alabama Amber is one of the colors, right? It's amber color, everything except fish. Fish are real bright dots. You can see the brightness. I mean, it's obvious what it is.
You're talking about the color palette.
Color palettes, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And you can tell what it is. And when we first started testing it, and then the Explorer unit, you know, it's touchscreen. They took a lot of the great features of the Solix and the simplicity and user friendliness of the Helix, and combined them together. And it's like a Garmin now, as far as, you know, like on your screen, everything is touchscreen. I can go wider, shallower, deeper. All of it's on the screen. And it's got that picture that's just unreal. That picture is unbelievable. But like I said, you know, that this year is going to be Garmin coming out with something new. Yeah. Garmin's going to have something that's going to be the latest and greatest in the next probably few months.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I haven't been on a boat that had the new Mega Live, but I have been on the old one. So I was just wanting to know, you know, was there that big of a difference? Because I'd heard there was.
Yeah, there is. There's a huge difference in them. They did everything they wanted it to do. It's like they reversed engineered the live scope. It's like they reversed engineered it and then added to it and did some things to it. And to me, it just jumped over. And we installed both of them, but it just jumped over that one. Now, you know as well as I do, Garmin's coming out with something in the near future. It's just like they're just like phones. I mean,
it's an arms race.
Yeah,
it's an arms race. Tracy Coker says the Doppler color palette is working good with all this pollen in the water.
Yeah, Doppler's good. And I tell you something else. They give you a lot of real easy color palettes and their screen on the Explorer is one of those non-glare screens. So you get, they did a lot of things. They improved a lot of things to make it a better experience. How about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But the Doppler color, that is, he's telling the truth on that. That Doppler color is for real.
For real. Okay, well, there you go. Have you seen one, Kevin or Tim? Have y'all seen one of the new Humminbirds?
No, I haven't seen.
No, we're Lowrance. We're the slow group.
Yeah, you're
you the L word guys.
Yeah.
The L word.
He used to do that.
Somebody said the new L word. The new Eagle Eye, the new live scope or active target, whatever it is from Lowrance is really good.
Yeah, that active target too.
Yeah, is that what it is? They say they stepped up their game, that it's really good.
Yeah. I think it's all just at this point, they're all very good.
That's what I'm saying. It's same thing with, like we said earlier. I mean, just what you like. Yeah. It's Chevy and Ford.
I agree with you. Buck Clark on TikTok says, love my Mega Live 2. So there you go. I like that. All right. So guys, we're late in the night, and I know I got a couple of old farts on the show tonight. So, I want to make sure we get them in bed at a suitable time because I don't want to wake up in the morning and because of us, LJ's, or even Kevin are having problems. So we're gonna end the show.
Man,
Yeah, listen, I'm
LJ will
honest.
be late. He'll be late to the grocery
He
store to
cuts
do his
deep, doesn't he,
laps,
LJ?
get his
I-
cramp medicine.
I always give Kevin a hard time and all that, but Kevin really don't go to bed till like 2:00 in the morning. He'll hit our group messenger up at like 2 in the morning. I'm like, why in the hell's he up?
Right.
Like that. So, but anyway, all right. So first of all, LJ, seriously, number one, thank you for coming on tonight. I really do. I really am very glad you came on. It's been too long since I've had you on. Number two, dude, from the bottom of my heart, I am so glad that you have made it through this. I know you still got a long way to go and all that, but I am glad to see the positive results of it and all that. And I hate it that you had to go through that, if I'm being honest.
It wasn't fun, I can tell you that.
No, it didn't look fun, and I don't wish that on anybody. But I'm glad that now you got it, now you got a little story to tell. You can tell people, you guys that listen to the first 25, 30 minutes of the show, take it a little more serious, okay? Just please take it a little more serious. LJ will have his rooster hair posted up in the morning. Yeah, he'll have that. He still does that and all that.
Yeah, I look forward to that about every day.
Yeah.
See that hair.
Good Lord.
Tell the truth. I mean, I'm picking up radio stations, man.
Yeah, I know.
My hair's got its own zip code. I guess
All right, real quick.
I had the double rooster the other day.
Double rooster? I don't even want to know. All right. Are you real quick? Are you still doing when you get back, you're gonna be doing the sonar trips as well, where you set people sonar up or teach them how to use that? You're gonna get back into that? Okay. So
yep, doing that. Guide trips.
Okay.
Guide trips. And I'm a finesse guy, guys. So if you want to learn sonar and finesse fishing, that's me.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely. And one more
and
time.
offshore. If I get in water shallower than 15 feet, I get nervous.
Yeah, I can believe that too. Real quick too, if somebody wants to go look at your line of products, I know they can go to lanierBait.com, but and Tackle Warehouse.
Yep.
And then
Hammond's. And then we've got a new one called Backroads Baits.
Okay.
He's up in Ohio.
Okay. All right.
So we're branching out.
Well, there you go. Well, all right, again.
God, I hope I got that right. Backroads I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Backroads Baits.
We'll figure it out. You're close enough for us. Close enough for government work. Well, anyway, LJ, thank you for coming on again. Tim and Kevin, thank you for jumping in here. Congratulations. So what was it? Memphis for winning that prize. Make sure you send me your address on Facebook and all that. And the rest of you guys, listen. Hey, again, I'm gonna double it this time because we're going into the weekend. If you're out on the water, of course, do all your safety precautions because we want to see you back. But also too, go back if you didn't see the first 20, 25, 30 minutes and see the hell that LJ went through and maybe just be motivated a little bit to take care of yourself a little bit better and go get checked. Go get checked. Go enjoy your colonoscopy like we all did. Do those things that you got to do. It's not that bad and all that. But again, LJ, brother, thank you for coming on, buddy. I really do appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Tim, Kevin, y'all be good.
You too. Take care of yourself.
You too.
All right, guys, we're gonna zoom on into the weekend. We'll be back Monday. Tony will have a podcast Monday night. I got a tournament on Lanier, a Toto electric only tournament, so I'm gonna go donate and get my ass kicked. But if you guys are in the area about 3 o'clock,